Okay, good morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here in Rio de Janeiro, so time to start. My name is Ricardo. I'm the coordinator of the PhD in administration at Fundação Getúlio Vargas, EBAPE. It's a great pleasure to receive you here today in this webinar where you'll talk about the selection process for the 2020 cohort. So what do I have here? First of all, I will explain you how this tool works. If you want to ask some questions, you can go down there on the menu on the bottom of your screen. There is a Q&A icon. If you click there, you can type on any question you have about the program. You can ask your question either in Portuguese or in English, no problem. Please don't go further on other languages. English and Portuguese are enough. And then I will answer all of them as far as I can, or the most as I can, at least. I will answer the questions at the end of the session, but you feel free to ask your questions as they pop up in your mind, and I will return to them later on. Okay? So now I will share my screen with you. I hope you all see my PowerPoint slide. So starting again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ricardo Lopes Cardoso. I'm the coordinator of the PhD in administration at Getúlio Vargas, EBAPE. I work at the coordination with Daniele Santos, Natasha Nunes, and Danusa Vasconcelos and Luisa Longo. Mainly Danusa and Luisa help me with the selection process. Considering that, last month on April 8th, I presented a very similar webinar like this. I will focus right now on the change that we just made in the selection process. And then I will go through all the entire presentation as I did last month. So what have we changed in the selection process? There is an errata at the EBAPE's website selection process where you can see that due to the COVID pandemic restrictions, we decided to extend until June, the 8th of June. So you have 1 month from now to apply for this selection process. The interviews will take place on the week of the 20th of June, and we will disclose the results by the 26th of June. All students that are selected might enroll in the program between the 1st of July, the 10th of July. So classes will start on the 20th of July. What do I highlight here? The changes are in red in this slide. Notice that although we extended the application process and all the following steps of the selection process, classes are still starting on the 20th of July. We had not changed the classes calendar, okay? In addition to the timetable of the selection process, we made other few amendments that might be of your interest. That's why I bring it in red, all the changes that we made. The first one that you can just see right now is that for English proficiency test that we do require you present. Now you can, in addition or in place of IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge, instead of those, you can present your results if you take the aptitudes from the British Council exam. But this is not the only change that we made. We made other changes. It's now specifically related to the COVID pandemic. What are they? First, many candidates had asked us, sent us emails and other opportunities to make contact with us. They said, well, you know that Ampad canceled one exam or Unpack, or I cannot take the exam for GRE or GMAT. So many candidates that are really interested in the program could not take these exams due to restrictions related to the COVID pandemic. So we decided just for this selection process, the 2020 PhD cohort, we decided that each candidates that don't have any of those results might apply presenting a dissertation pre-project instead of the results of any of those exams. So if you don't have those exams, please replace the file. Instead of uploading the file of the result of your exam, you might upload a PhD dissertation pre-project. Notice that there are some rules in regard to this pre-project. Please, maximum 4 page, entirely written in English, and it might be related to one of the research tracks of this program. I will talk about the research tracks later on. And the other change, many candidates also said that they could not take any of those English proficiency tests, neither the aptitudes. So we made another change, the selection process for this, specifically for this year. That is instead of presenting the results of the proficiency test right now, you will need to upload a handwritten letter attesting full understanding of the English language, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And this document will temporarily replace your certificate of English proficiency. So you go through the selection process. If you are approved, you will enroll immediately in the program on July this year, and you will have until December 21st to show us your English proficiency certificate. So note that we are not just replacing the proficiency certificate by a handwritten letter that you say that you are proficient. We are just saying that temporarily, until July, while we are in the selection process, it's okay, the handwriting. But you can enroll in the program once you are approved in the selection process. However, your registration in the program, your enrollment in the program is precarious because you need to present your English proficiency certificate by the end of the year. If you fail in sending us your English proficiency certificate by the end of the year, I'm sorry to say your enrollment will be canceled and you will not be welcome to take classes on the 2021 next year. Okay? Now, these are the only changes that we made in the selection process in this errata. All the other steps in the selection process are exactly the same that I presented in April. Okay, and another one. The second phase, talking about the interviews. When you analyze all the documents you presented, and we will invite some of you to the interview, those that are selected in the first phase. And the interviews used to be at the EBAPE building, face-to-face, in-person interview. Due to restrictions as well, all interviews will be conducted through video conference, most probably through Zoom, as we are using right now, or Skype. We hadn't decided yet. You will know which tool will you use to connect and have the video conference interview when you receive an email from us saying that you were selected in the first phase and now you are being invited to the interview. This is what I needed to talk to you in regard to the errata that we made in the public notice of the selection process. If you have any question specifically related to this errata, the change that we made, please feel free to ask and I will answer them right now. Otherwise, I will move to the remaining of my presentation. Q&A sessions open. Okay, Mariana asked about the pre-project, if those 4 pages maximum is the content, or does it also include in the 4 page, the cover page and the summary or whatever? Please, you have only 4 pages. Don't waste any session, any space in those 4 pages with cover letter. We don't care about the cover letter. We only care about the content of your idea for a research dissertation, a PhD dissertation. So don't waste time with cover letter, neither a summary, because if it's a so small document, if you have only 4 pages, no need to present any summary. You need to focus on the research idea you have, the research theme, the research question, the theoretical arguments that support your investigation. If you already are able to present a hypothesis, okay, go through and describe your hypothesis based on the theory that you have revised. Present the methodological steps that you aim to follow while testing your hypothesis and answering your research question. And bring some references, of course, but don't present a very extensive list of references. Bring only the key references that you really have in the literature related to the research question that you have that might support your theory, your hypothesis. I guess I have answered you, Mariana. In case the social distance is extended, will classes be delayed? No, classes will start on July 20th. If social distance is extended, we will start classes on the July 20th online, as we are having classes right now. Our program had not stopped due to social distance. So what have we done? We moved it from face-to-face, in classroom, in-person classes to Zoom online classes. Classes at Zoom respect the semi-calendar of the program as a whole. So no, classes will start on July 20th at sharp, even though through Skype, through Zoom if necessary. For those who has Ampad score a little bit lower than 90, should upload it or should replace it by the project? Well, Indiomar, you can please, in this case, I do ask you, please, to upload both. If the system doesn't allow you to upload 2 files there, what you can do, you can convert, you will write your project on a Word file, then you convert that to a PDF file, and you add in the same PDF file the certificate from Ampad that you have. So in only one PDF file, you present the certificate from Ampad and the research project that you have. Of course, you only need to do this if your grade at Ampad is lower than the one that we require in the public notice. Great question, Idomar. Thank you. I would say the same thing for the English proficiency certificate. If you have already taken TOEFL, for instance, and your grade in TOEFL is lower than a little bit lower than what we demand, you can, in addition to the certificate that you already have, upload your handwriting where you confirm that you are aware that you will need to present another certificate by the end of the year in accordance with the criteria that we demand in the selection process. Andrea, AMPAD is required for someone who has a master in business from Copiad. Yes, Andrea, I'm sorry, we will demand AMPAD or AMPEC or GRE or GMAT to anyone, even though you have already you are already a master from a very nice school as well. Each course among the 16 courses carried out in 6 months. Okay, Paulo, I will ask that question later on. I'm just talking about answering questions related to the selection process, okay? I will come back to you later. Armando, will the pre-project be part only of the admission process, or will also be part of the research during the course? Well, good question, Armando. We do hope that our students gain much more knowledge and experience on researching during the program. So we do not have any expectation that the pre-project that you just upload for this admission process would be conducted by you for 4 years from today. So the answer, Armando, to your question is no. No, we do not expect that you really perform such a research during your PhD. What we want to know from you in this admission process is if you have any idea on how to conduct a relevant research in administration. Okay? Good morning. About the model of pre-project PhD thesis. No, we don't have any model. We expect that all of you already know what are the key contents of a pre-project, a PhD pre-project, because you are already a master, most probably in business administration or any other area. So please use your knowledge that you have, your background on doing research to organize your pre-project. We won't send any model or any template for that. Kennedy, as I said, interviews will most probably be conducted online through Skype or Zoom. So even though you are from Niterói or from another country or from Botafogo, due to restrictions that we have right now, interviews will be conducted online. Now, let's consider a very optimistic scenario that by the end of June, we are free of COVID and we can go back to our normal lives and we can receive you at EBAPE's building for the interview. In this case, when we invite you for the interview, we would offer you either option: to come in the site, to come to EBAPE's building, or to participate in the interview process through video conference, okay? But it's not demanded right now. Well, I guess I asked all the questions related to the selection process. Any more questions, or can I move forward on the presentation? Bianca. Oh, excellent question, Bianca. I have noted it to answer right now, but I just forgot it. Thank you for reminding me. All of you, as Bianca, that had already applied to the selection process until the 3rd of April, and successfully completed all the application process, don't worry. You do not need to take any further action. Just wait until, let me go back to the calendar, until the week just before the June 20th of June, when you will receive from us an email inviting you to the interview, and then you will be interviewed on this week from 20th of June until 24th of June. So again, any one of you that had already successfully applied to this program, instead of being interviewed next week as we were supposed to be, please wait a little bit. We will interview you on June, and you will receive an email from us later on, invite you for the interview. Thank you, Bianca. Okay, so since we don't have any more questions, yeah, seems like I don't have more questions. So I will move forward on the presentation of the program. Okay. In regard to the program of Academic Graduate Studies in Administration at fgv.br is composed by the Master and the PhD in Administration. We are today talking about the selection process only for the PhD program, the cohort that will start in July this year. And most of you already know that we are very proud of being evaluated by CAPES with the grade 7, the highest grade they grant to PhD programs. We are there, thank you. And our school is also accredited by two of the most reliable accreditations of PhD programs, the AACSB and the EFMD EQUIS. So we are very proud of it. And I do hope that once you start in our program, you not only also be proud of it, as well as you help us maintaining these crowns among the PhD programs in Brazil. So, what do we think about the PhD program? What's the main purpose on our perspective of a PhD program? The PhD program purpose is to prepare students for academic careers as research professors. And you might conduct your research career at any relevant university or other research institution, academic institution or not, think tank organization, either in Brazil or abroad. So in a nutshell, I can say that we do believe and we act like this, that our PhD program is dedicated to develop our students to become independent researchers, to perform their researches anywhere they want, to publish their research as research papers in academic journals at the best research academic journals ever, as well as work in the industry, go back to real life and helping developing the Brazilian economy or the economy of the country where you work for, either as a practitioner in an industry or as a policymaker. But using your skills, your researching skills to solve real problems that organizations and governments have. Why would anyone be interested in joining our PhD program? We see that there we have four main reasons, four main pillars why our program is so demanded. We have definitely road-renewed faculty, high quality and rigorous training, we inspire academic experience, and we have top-notch students. What do we mean by these four pillars? Going back to the road-renewed faculty. Our faculty has plenty of international experience. Most of them are not Brazilians. They follow all their academic lives outside Brazil, mainly in Europe or North America, where they went for bachelor, master, PhD, as well as they began their academic career teaching at leading international universities abroad. Others, like me, that took a master, a PhD here in Brazil, we moved for a PhD sandwich abroad or a visiting professor in leading universities abroad. So even though some of us don't have such international experience as a native from there, we are Brazilians and we go through as visiting professors frequently during our career at EBAPE. We do research that is internationally recognized. We publish our papers in leading international journals in the area. We also serve as journal editors and journals peer reviewers. So we have connections and a network, an academic network, very strong internationally. And productivity. We are by far the most productive PhD faculty in administration in Brazil. If you take a look on the civil acts from our faculty, you see how frequently we publish papers in leading journals in our area. In regard to the quality of the training that we offer, definitely it's a high quality and very rigorous training in order to be able to help you developing yourself as an independent researcher. What do we do? First of all, our course is fully taught in English. That's why I'm speaking English right now. Why do we offer our course in English? Because we are very confident that English is the language of science. If we need to build our ideas, to build our hypotheses and think about the research program, we need to review literature, and the best literature is the most reliable literature, the most relevant production in academic science is published in English, either in international journals or either Brazilian journals that are also publishing papers in English. On the top of that, our program is a full-time program. What do we mean by a full-time program? Our program has a 48 months period. So starting in July 2020, you might defend your thesis 2021, 2, 3, 4. By the July or June, the end of June of year 2024, you might defend your PhD dissertation. If you have any doubt about the program, I do invite you to read the regulation of our program. You have both versions in Portuguese and English available on our website. And to make it easier to you, I just copy and paste the link here. But notice that, what do we really mean by a full-time program? I will explain this in the following slides. Well, our PhD students are required to take some courses. What do I mean by some courses? Well, you might take 6 method courses like statistics, qualitative research, many courses related to how to do research. They are 6 in total, plus 5 courses that you might take within the research track that you choose for your program. We have 4 research tracks that we will see further. You might choose one of them and take the courses related to that research track specifically. On the top of them, you may also take other 4 courses that we call elective courses. These elective courses might be other courses from the research track that you have already chosen. You took more than 5, so the 6 and so on will count as elective courses. You might take courses from other research tracks that will be considered also elective courses. You can take more method courses on the top of those 6 that will be counted as elective courses. And then you can also take courses outside our program. You can go to PhD, EASP, EBAPE, any other FGV school and take courses, PhD courses there. They will count as elective. But you can go outside FGV. You can go to UFRJ, PUC, any other university, as well as in the abroad, and take courses, and you can consider them as elective courses. Okay, notice that you might take 4 elective courses. The highest number of elective courses that you can take outside our program is 2. So up to 2 courses taken outside our program, either another FGV school or outside FGV. If you publish a paper on a high quality, high level academic journal, you might also ask to replace one of these elective courses by the paper you had published in a high qualified academic journal in our area. On the top of all these courses, you might take 1 year, here is 1 year, graduate seminars. I will explain what the graduate seminars mean in a while. But so this is the classes. These are the classes that you might take during your PhD. The 6 method courses, 5 research track courses, 4 elective courses, plus 1 year graduate seminars. On the top of the courses, you might also develop your conceptual paper. Again, the conceptual paper does not need to have any relationship to the result pre-project you just presented for the selection process, okay? So they are completely independent. The conceptual paper is the first stage of your PhD thesis, your PhD dissertation. Here, in the conceptual paper, you will present your thesis. You will present your research idea, the research problem. What do you think is the relevance of such a study, the hypotheses you have, and mainly the theoretical arguments that support your thesis. This is the conceptual paper. This conceptual paper will be evaluated by peer reviewers, by blind review process, and 2 reviewers outside the EBAPE, and they will evaluate your conceptual paper and say if your conceptual paper is approved or not. If it's approved, you move on in the process. You of course be supervised by a professor at the EBAPE, so you need to follow the supervised research seminar specifically with your supervisor. Then you present the dissertation project. Dissertation project is how you expect, how you suggest to methodologically develop your conceptual paper. So the difference between the dissertation project and the conceptual paper is that here it's a project. Here you need to detail very clearly the methods that you perform in order to answer the research question you have raised in the conceptual paper. Then, once your dissertation project is approved, you will develop your project, and finally, you have all the answers, you have all the analysis, you have all the conclusions, and you will defend your dissertation by the end of month 48 since you start. So by June 2024, you will defend your dissertation. So this is what we mean by the 16 courses, 48 credits, 720 hours PhD program. Very demanding program. In order to fulfill all these activities that they are really demanding, I can go back and explain what we mean by a full-time program. By a full-time program, I mean, we do not demand that you quit your job to join us, but we really strongly recommend that you do have a full-time dedication to the program, either if you quit your job or if you can get a sabbatical leave from your employer. But even though you continue your professional activities, you are welcome to join us. However, be aware that the program will not adapt to your needs. You might adapt yourself, your agenda, your calendar to the program. It means that classes are offered from Monday to Friday, from 9 in the morning until noon, and then from 2 in the afternoon until 5. So we have morning and afternoon classes from Monday to Thursday, to be more precise here. And then we use Fridays for replacement classes. If there is some problem, there is any holiday in a specific day that you should have a clear class, your class will be offered on a Friday instead of the holiday that was not possible to had to have classes, for instance. So if you have any other activity like a professional activity, in the meanwhile you are taking the PhD, be aware that it's up to you to manage your professional life, your family, and your other activities that you do in addition to the PhD and your professional activities, as well as the PhD demands. We will not adjust anything to receive those that work, okay? But you are welcome to participate in the selection process and to join us. Some other notice that I might say, yeah, it's okay by now, so far, about the full-time program. If you have more questions about that, please ask a question on the Q&A tool, and I will go through them and answer them later at the end of this presentation. And finally, I just said that we have 4 research tracks. Okay, here they are. We have the Institutions and Policy and Government track, which is coordinated by Professor Carlos Pereira. We have the Finance track, that is coordinated by Professor Lars Norden. We have the Strategy, Management and Organizations track, coordinated by Professor Olivier Bertrand, and the Behavioral and Decisional Science track, coordinated by Professor Ishani Agraval. You remember, in the selection process, you need to choose up to 2 of these research tracks in the form in the application process. And if you don't have the AMPAD or any of those exams, you might need to upload a pre-project. And such a research project might be related to one of these research tracks. So please, go through our website, read the descriptions we have present there for each of these research tracks. Identify which of them better fit with your interests on coming for joining a PhD program. On the top of that, read the CV of our faculty. I have the link here for the web page where we present all the faculty of the program. There you have a link of the CV of each one of us, not only from these 4 professors that are the leaders of the research trackers, but all others. So I do invite you, read our CV, not all of us, those that you identify that do research related to what you are interested to investigate. And read what the papers we have published and develop your research idea if you do need to present a pre-project instead of an Untitled exam right now, okay? And if you have an Untitled exam, you don't need to upload the pre-project, no problem. But you, in the form, you need to present up to 2 research tracks there, and you might present in anyhow a letter of intention. And within your letter of intention, you might give some idea of what kind of research you intend to do. And then reading the CV of our faculty might help you on making your ideas clearer for the evaluators who will assess your application. So with this, I explained what we mean by the full-time program, and then helping, supporting, and offering a high quality and rigorous training. Our program has 4 research centers. We have the Center for Banking and Finance Research in Rio, coordinated by Professor Lais and Professor Patrick. We have the Centro de Excelência e Inovação em Políticas Educacionais as well. We have the Center for Behavioral Research in Rio, coordinated by Professor Eduardo Andrade. And we have the Applied Research Center in Accounting and Analytics, coordinated by myself. So feel free to go through the research center's website, see the kind of research that these professors perform in their daily activities, and then you might also build your idea better, either to present your research proposal in the pre-project or in the letter of intention, if you do not need to present a pre-project. Okay, and how do we inspire academic experience? I already told you that you need to take 1 year graduate seminars. What are the graduate seminars? Graduate seminars are sessions that we offer every 2 weeks. So there are 5 sections per quarter, where we invite professors from outside EBAPE to present their research projects. Research projects that these professors, experienced professors, are conducting, but are still underway. Or they might also present some research papers that they had just published, brand new papers that they had published. So in these sessions that take more than 1 hour, what do we have? The visiting professor comes and presents the paper or the working paper that he is working on. Since the raw idea until the way data were collected, analyzed, the results, and the implications. These used to be described in the paper. There, you, our students, receive the papers or the working papers in advance. You are supposed to read what the visiting professor will present later on, and you are invited to ask questions about the research being presented. After that, we, the professors, leave the classroom, and there remains the visiting professors and our students. And our students might ask whatever they want to ask to the visiting professor. Usually, we have visiting professors that come from abroad. Then you might be interested on asking, how is the job market for PhD in administration in your country? Or how should I apply for a position in your university? Or how was your career since the beginning? Where did you take your master? Where did you take your PhD? Or maybe this visiting professor that we have there is a close friend to another professor that authored many papers that you have read, and you are so interested in the research of these guys. And you can ask personal questions about the visiting professors that come or their colleagues. And these might help you thinking and getting a better knowledge of how the academic life is, not only in Brazil, outside Brazil, not only at FGV, outside FGV as well. And international exchange, also inspiring academic experience. The doctoral stay, or as we say in Brazil, doutorado sanduíche. Our students are encouraged to take a doutorado sanduíche abroad after the 80th quarter, as long as their conceptual paper is approved. The doctoral stay cannot be longer than one year. So what's the message here? You might take all those credits, the method courses, the research track courses, the elective courses, the graduate seminars within 2 years. The first 2 years of your PhD program are dedicated to taking those credits and developing your conceptual paper within those first 2 years. As soon as you receive the approval on your conceptual paper, we stamp your passport. You have a visa from us. You can visit, you can go abroad for your doutorado sanduíche as soon as you have the approval on your conceptual paper. And there, we do hope that you will develop your research project over there. So you will develop your conceptual paper idea into a research project. You can do that immediately after getting the approval on the conceptual paper. And we do hope that you have the help of co-advising, because if you are going to another university, most probably the university where you go is linked to EBAPE or to the faculties networking anyhow. So you most probably who will receive you there, that I will call here a co-supervisor, is a close friend, is a research friend of your supervisor at EBAPE. And then this co-supervisor will help you developing your research while abroad. You might also take other courses there. It's good, but remember, in order to submit your conceptual paper for evaluation, you might have taken all the credits that are demanded. So any credit that you take over there will not count as any of those credits that you might take in the program. What else about this? You might also choose to go for a doutorado sanduíche later, not immediately after getting the approval on the conceptual paper. Let's say that you get approval on the conceptual paper. Here in Brazil, you start to work immediately and focus it on your research project. You qualify, you have the approval on your research project, and then you go abroad, either to collect data or to analyze data and do whatever it's relevant for your research. So you have, since you get the approval of your conceptual paper until you defend your thesis, 2 years period to choose when and where to go for the doutorado sanduíche. And we do exhort all our students to go. It's very important. And finally, why are we so attractive? Most because of you. We have top-notch students. So we talk about you. You are our students. Our students are geographically diversified. We have students not only from Rio de Janeiro city or Rio de Janeiro state, we have different students from different regions of Brazil. On the top of that, we have many students from outside Brazil. We used to have students from Italy, Russia, Poland, China. I always forget someone. I'm so sorry. I'm glad I'm not saying their names, but for sure I'm forgetting some country right now. It's not France. So it's not, the point is we have students from many different countries, and it's also a very inspiring environment, academic environment, because you have students so diversified, the different cultures, different backgrounds. And talking about different backgrounds, our students are not only geographically diversified, they are also academically diversified. We have students that went for to have a bachelor in administration, have a master in administration, and are here in a PhD in administration. But we have students that took either their bachelor or master or both in completely different areas. We have accountants, we have lawyers, we have economists, we have engineers, we have psychologists, we have physicians, we have those that took bachelor and master in medicine. We have very diversified academic background in students with so different backgrounds. So it's also very interesting to exchange knowledge and to learn together. That's why we do hope our students to full-time dedicate to the program. So there they have the opportunity to learn from each other, not only from their professors and supervisors. Okay, now about money. Most of you might be very interested to know how much does it cost to take your PhD with us. Okay, tuition fee. All students approved, accepted for this PhD program will be exempted from any fees and duties. So you will pay nothing to take your PhD with us. Completely exemption from any tuition fee. On the top of that, in addition for not paying, you also receive scholarships. The program offers study grants to students for their upkeep based on the student progress, performance, and full commitment studies under the program. These scholarships might be funded either by CAPES, CNPq, FAPERJ, or FGV's own budget. We assure that if you are approved in the program, you enroll as a PhD student at EBAPE, and you are eligible to any of those CAPES, CNPq study grants, but you will receive, if we have scholarships from CAPES, CNPq available. If we don't have any availability of any of those scholarships, we will provide you with our own budget the same amount, 2,200 reais per month scholarship. Once you are eligible for CAPES or CNPq, but a scholarship and you don't receive from them, we will support you while there is no vacancy on those scholarships from those governmental agencies. What do I mean by being eligible? Because CAPES and CNPq require that the students to receive their scholarships might not work, might not have any professional activity. So since you have no professional activity, since you are full-time dedicated to the program, you are eligible to CAPES or CNPq grants. If they are not available, we will support you with EBAPE's money. So what's the investment that you need to make? It's no money. Your investment, the investment from you that we expect is your time, your dedication, your commitment to this program. And finally, your success. as a researcher. And on the top of not paying anything and receiving those scholarships, now an additional information. I didn't have present this on the webinar I made in April. So now brand new, breaking news. I said that, but I had not shown that. So what I have here, the opportunity to you to receive an additional scholarship. The program offers estágio docência opportunities to early stage PhD students double their scholarships. Hence, the total scholarship might be 4,400 reais per month. In addition to the scholarship that you receive from CAPES or CNPq or FGV budget, if you get enrolled, engaged in estágio docência, you will receive an additional 2,200 reais per month scholarship. So your monthly income goes to 4,400 reais per month. I know that the cost of living in Rio de Janeiro is quite high, but putting this in perspective, these 4,400 reais are not taxable. So it's free of tax already. So it's equivalent to someone that makes 6,500 reais per month salary. After tax, it has net 4,400 reais per month. So it's quite reasonable. EBAPE frequently publishes public notice regarding estágio docência scholarship opportunities. Just yesterday, we made this opportunity available on our website. If you click in this link, you go through the public notice for 4 scholarship estágio docência scholarships related to research assistant. 2 professors in the program are conducting different research projects, and within each of these research projects, each of them has 2 scholarships available. One project is on public policy and health, public health research, and the other is conducting research on governmental audit. And if you are interested in joining our PhD to develop either a research related to governmental audit that fits with the research project that in this case I'm the coordinator, you are welcome to join, to do your PhD, work on the research project that I have there on governmental audit, and receive the additional scholarship. Or if you are interested in public policy on public health, you can join the PhD and conduct your thesis related to the public health project Professor Fábio Calderaro has, and you will receive from him and his project the additional scholarship. Okay, but I do invite you to visit these oportunidades editais abertos to go through the opportunities that we have by now. And we update these frequently. Other opportunities related to estágio docência will also appear, not only as research assistant, we also might publish in the following months opportunities for teaching assistants. And then if you work as a teaching assistant for your estágio docência, you might also receive an additional scholarship. Now, I will repeat what I had just said in the beginning about the selection process. I said in the beginning, for those that attended to the webinar last month, but now I will present clearly all the steps with much more details. Okay, the selection process is comprised by four phases, big steps here, that they are, you need to apply for the selection process, and the due deadline was extended until June the 8th. You upload many documents, including your research pre-project. We will go through all your documents, including your research pre-project, and we will make a selection. We will select those that will be invited for interview. So if you presented all the documents as required, and if your research, your grades are as we established it, or your research project is related to the research tracks and there is an interesting research agenda, research suggestion, you will be invited for the interviews. And interviews will take place from June 20th until June 24th. After this, we'll make a decision. The faculty will meet to make a decision on which candidates were selected, and the final result will be made available, publicly available, by June 26th. And then those that are selected will need to come to EBAPE or to FGV to present all the documents, or if the restrictions due to COVID remains until there, the document will be uploaded with no personal, I don't know, you will be aware on the process to conduct if restrictions are until July on email. But suppose that life goes back to normal, you need to come here to present your documents and enroll in the program in this period, from the 1st of July until the 10th. And classes will start on the 20th of July. Okay? Now, what are those phases? The first phase is the phase 0 is you apply to the selection process. Once you have applied until next month, the 18th of June, we will analyze all the documents. And this is the phase 1, documental analysis. We will analyze all the documents you uploaded, your undergraduate diploma, your standard tests, if you already have them. If you don't have them, or the grades are lower than we demand in the document, you didn't have time to take another exam to enhance your grade, so you presented your dissertation pre-project, noticing that it needs to be in English, no more than 4 pages. We don't care about cover page, neither summary. Go straight to the content. What is your research proposal? What's the relevance of your question? How do you expect to answer this question? What might be the social and academic implications from the results that you foresee for the question you have raised? What are the theoretical arguments that maintain your research questions relevant? And this is what we expect to see in the research project. And of course, such a research project might be related to at least one of the research tracks that we have in the program. I already presented the 4 research tracks that we have here. You also need to present your English proficiency test. In the beginning, we just said these first 3, IELTS, TOEFL, and Cambridge. Now, instead of any one of those 3, you can also present the Aptitude British Council certificate. But again, if due to COVID, you haven't had the opportunity to take these certificates, we are temporarily accepting that you upload a handwritten letter attesting that you have full understanding of English language. I mean, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And if you are selected, you will enroll in July. You take classes from July to December. In this meanwhile, in this 6-month period, let's say, You will need to go there and sit to take any one of these exams, certificates, at the minimum grade that we require. And you need to show us, bring us this certificate by the end of the year, just before Christmas, I say here, 21st December. Notice, it's very important. If you don't bring your English certificate by the end of the year, your registry enrollment will be canceled. You will not be a PhD student at EBAPE anymore because you failed to present the English certificate proficiency, okay? Now, what else will you upload in the certificate, in the application process? Your CV LATs. It's very important that you upload your CV LATs. It needs to be in, okay? You might present as well a letter of intention. Your letter of intention needs to be in English. If you are presenting a dissertation pre-project, you don't need to make any mention about your intention or your research proposal in your letter of intention. But if you presented these certificates here, then I welcome you to give us some idea of what you intend to research on while you are a PhD student. You can do that in your letter of intention. You will also need to present the contacts of two recommenders of yours, because they will get into the system and to fulfill a form that is your recommendation letter. So you need to have two recommendation letters. Who might be your recommender? Someone that knows you in the academic environment as a previous professor in your master or your bachelor program, or was your supervisor or co-supervisor in your master, or a co-author on any paper that you have published, or might be also someone that who knows you very well from the practitioners experience that you have, your employer, your manager in your employment, if you have one, could be a recommender. Any research track of interest. Applicants must indicate up to 2 research tracks in order of preference. So we have 4. If you are in doubt, oh, I don't know if I want to do track 1 or track 3, you present both, but although you are not sure which one, most probably you have one that you want most. So that is the first best option and the second best option on your perspective. We'll use this information to invite the faculty that will interview you. So that's it. That's why it's so important that you take your time evaluating the research tracks that you are interested in, because the faculty that will interview you are those that do research in those research tracks. Okay? So if you don't have the UNPAD exam, those that will interview you, of course, will be those that do research related to the pre-project that you have uploaded in replace of the UNPAD exam. Once you are evaluated in the first phase, we will select those candidates, the best candidates, to invite them to the interview. An interview is also conducted in English, questions and answers. Due to COVID, most probably we won't be able to receive you at the EBAPE's building to interview you, so interviews must be conducted through video conference, most probably Zoom or Skype. You will be aware of that on the email that we will send you saying that you were selected in the first phase, so invited for the interviews. And that's it, guys. That's all I have to show you today. The contacts that you have for any additional information you need related to this selection process, please feel free to either call to 3083-2784. This is Danusa's telephone number. She has follow me in this phone, so although she's working from home, she can answer these calls. You can also send an email to admissions/ebape@fgv.br and much more other information that we have in our website. A final comment that I do need to say here is that these changes that we made in this errata that you have there on our website are really affect only this selection process for the PhD 2020 cohort. Everything I said today are only related to the PhD 2020 cohort selection process. For next year, 2021, information will be made available by July this year. So if you are interested on joining us, not right now, but for next year, wait information that will be launched on the second semester this year, just by July. Okay, so now let's go to the Q&A session. I think I will stop my share screening so you can see me better and I can interact with you in a better way. Do you have any questions? Please write them down on the Q&A tool you have there. I'm quite lost because I hadn't followed these questions. Just in the beginning, Samir asked, tem alguma limitação na informação superior? If our candidates need to have any specific background. And Samir, the answer is no. All candidates are welcome, even though they do not have a background in administration. We only demand that candidates for the PhD are a bachelor in any area, no problem. Don't even need to be a master to hold a master degree. What we only demand is being a bachelor in any area of knowledge. Of course, the risk of accepting a candidate for the PhD that does not hold a master degree is much higher for the program. So we used to select PhD candidates that don't have a master degree only when we identify that this guy is really outstanding. If we have doubt if this candidate is really outstanding, we do invite the candidate to join the master program, take the master first with us, and then follow immediately to the PhD. It's very rare to have some candidate that do not have a master before. But if you have a master, I don't care which area it is, you do not need to be in administration or any area related to administration, you are welcome to apply. I'm reading the questions. Many of them I had already answered in the beginning. Now I need to go back to Paulo's question. Each course among the 16 courses are carried out in 6 months or 3 months. Okay, let me explain you this. Our courses are 30-hour courses. It means that we have 10 meetings per course. Each meeting has 3 hours times 10 meetings, 30 hours course. This means that our courses are 2 credits. Each credit is 15 hours, so we have 2 credit courses. These 10 meetings or 30 hours classes are managed within a period of 3 months, a quarter of the year. So you take a specific course during a quarter period of time, a 3 months time period. Okay, you might enroll in more than one course per quarter. Okay, but you take courses within a 3-month period. And the program offers 4 quarters per year. Seems obvious, but pay attention that our program respects the civil calendar. So we have classes for the first quarter beginning on January until March, the second quarter, April, June, the third quarter where you will start your program, July, September, and the fourth quarter, October, December. So yes, we have 4 academic quarters per year, as well as the civil calendar. Other programs in Brazil have only 3 quarters per year, but I'm talking not about them. I'm only talking about ours, and we have 4 quarters per year. So you might take those 16 courses within the first 8 quarters of your program. Within the first 2 years of your program, you take many courses, 16 courses, over 8 quarters. So until June 2022, you have finished all the credits and submitted your conceptual paper for blind peer review. I guess I had now answered your question, Paulo. Okay, Armando asked something related to, my master is from Warwick or another university abroad. And he already had took the IELTS and it had expired. Does he need to retake the English proficiency test? Armando, the answer for your question is no. So everybody, if you have taken your master abroad, not only abroad, but if your master is an academic master taught in English, you have written your master thesis and defended it in English, you can, instead of uploading the English certificate in the selection application form, you can upload the description of your master, and we will accept that as a proof of your English proficiency. Now, if you have English proficiency certificate already expired, but your grade is really good, no problem. You can upload your expired English proficiency certificate and we will evaluate it. If you have both an expired English proficiency certificate with a very good grade and a master from Warwick, for instance, that was fully taught in English, upload both information and for sure we will waive you from the English proficiency exam. Okay? Now, if you have this kind of doubt, upload this information and send an email to admissions/ebape@fgv.br. Send an email to Danusa, uploading this document and explaining your situation. Your email will be forwarded to me and I will evaluate it and answer yes or no to your question. Okay? And then you are safe. Once you receive my yes, you are waived from the exam, so you follow on the selection process. Samir asked if only master in business are accepted as only those that took a master in business accept the PhD. I already answered that, Samir. The answer is no. All of you are welcome, even though your master is not in administration or business administration focused. Okay, Antonio. Yeah, we are very sad, Antonio, that Professor Pepe had passed away this week, just in the beginning of the week. We are very sad. We lost a great professor and a very good friend. But yes, of course, we are considering hiring another finance professor. But we have other professors in the finance track. We have Professor Lars, we have Professor Patrick, I have myself as well related to the finance track. So for sure, if you want to do some research on portfolio management, you don't need to change that. Keep with your idea. You will conduct your research project, not right now. You have plenty of time. You have 4 years to defend your idea, your thesis. So you can keep that research project, the same pre-project or intention of doing research that you had presented before, and we will see among the other professors from the finance track who can best help and supervise you. Most probably in the meanwhile, EBAPE will hire another one, but not for sure, or for sure not for now. Okay, I already answered Armando about the retaken English certificate. Oh, Vitor, you asked about the criteria definition of high level relevance journals. We are talking, there are many metrics for that, but there are those journals that we are really sure that they are outstanding journals, those that are most difficult to get a paper published there. We have the Financial Times 50 list. We have CAPES evaluation, Qualis CAPES. We have ACSB, so those that are 4-star journals. We are considering here high relevance journals. But independently of the rankings, many different rankings that you have for academic journals, we have the knowledge of these are really good journals and all of us target on them. In order to fulfill one elective course, okay, I didn't see your question. I didn't understand your question, Vitor. In order to fulfill one elective course. Oh, okay, they are joined together. So what is the criteria to define a high level? I hope this is no problem because someone from EBAPE is calling me. I hope my connection is still on. Okay, I have 5 more minutes. I think this is what they want to tell me. If my signal is still working, can you please send a question or okay, just to make sure that I'm alive here? But Vitor, the answer to your question is in our regulations to the program. I don't remember specifically if we are demanding that you publish a paper on a Qualis, CAPES, A2 journal or B1 journal. I don't have that for sure. I don't remind that. Need to go through the regulations, but that is clearly stated in the regulations, which high-level academic journal is considered the criteria to waive you from take one elective course. Okay, I'm still alive. Good to know. Marcelo asked if you can get more than one scholarship. The answer is, it depends. You cannot receive one scholarship from CAPES and another from CNPq because both come from governmental funds. But you can accumulate the CAPES or CNPq scholarship with the FGV's scholarship since you get engaged in a estágio docência activity. In this case, you can accumulate. Diego, we do expect that our PhD students get dedicated full time to the project, to the program. So we do not exhort, we do not incentivize our students to go through consulting projects on other areas of FGV. If you are doing your PhD, I do recommend you to get engaged in other activities to reinforce your income on those estágio docência opportunities. Okay, estágio docência is available only for those which obtain scholarships. Vitor, estágio docência is demanded by CAPES and CNPq. CAPES and CNPq establish that those students that receive CAPES or CNPq scholarships are required to get engaged in estágio docência. And this is for free. In our case, we consider that not necessarily it's for free. So if you have CAPES or CNPq scholarships, they demand you to get engaged in estágio docência, and they do not pay you for that, but we do. So we pay and we double your scholarship with a EBAPE resource, whether you get engaged on estágio docência. Now, if I can read again Vitor's question, and let's suppose that a candidate, a student, does not receive neither CAPES or CNPq or no scholarship at all because he works and he's not eligible for those scholarships. Can this student get engaged in a estágio docência? Yes, you can. And you would receive a scholarship for that. But notice that I don't know how you will be able to manage your time, because if you work, you have your personal life, you take your credits, and you are working on your conceptual paper, will you really have more time to dedicate yourself to a estágio docência activity and receive an additional scholarship? I doubt, but you can apply. What should be the size and the degree of deep of research pre-project? It is to be, yes, the pre-project that Diego needs to be submitted in English, yes, and the length up to 4 pages, no more than 4 pages. You need to be able to make your ideas clearly and objectively within 4 pages. If you need more than 4 pages to describe your idea, it's because it's not a good idea. What's the number of seats available for the PhD program? We have some more than 10 scholarships from CAPES or CNPq available, and in total we can accept up to 20 candidates. But we don't have any commitment to fulfill all the 10 scholarships or all the 20 seats. We will select only those very good, high quality candidates that meets our selection criteria and that convince us during that interview that you will be a good researcher. So we don't need to fulfill all the 20, but we have 20 available. Yes, the slides will be made available on the internet, on the EBAPE's website, together with the link to the YouTube where this video will be made available. I need to finish, I mean, just because it's already 11:31. Can I have 3 more minutes, guys, to try to finish the Q&A? I already answered Paulo that with our courses, each course 30 hours is a quarter period. Yes, we have only one intake per year, Diego. That start PhD cohort this year. It starts in July. Manuela asked if logistics topic could be included in the strategy organization track. Yes, definitely, sure. Uh, Someone that didn't identify himself asked, what do I mean by expected social relevance for the research project? How society will get better after your research than it is today. Most probably you will receive a scholarship grant from CAPES or CNPq with public resources. Which benefit will you provide to society in exchange of the research, the grants that you have received? So that's what we mean by expect social relevance. How society enhance after your research. Yes, Diego, no problem. You can send your 2011 GMAT if the grade is good and TOEFL. Renata, I cannot say anything more detailed about the grant, research grant on government auditing right now. Please read the public announcement available at EBAPE's website. If you have questions, there are an email that you can use to send your question that will be forwarded to me, and I'll have a great pleasure to reply your questions. But I don't have time to go specifically for that right now. I already answered Marcelo that yes, you can accumulate the research assistant plus the CAPES or CNPq scholarship. No, José, that's a very good question. Time is done, but I need to answer José Guilherme. There is no time limit. There is no restrictions related to age of candidates. We have PhD students enrolled right now that is, for instance, older than 60 years age. So you are all welcome. You apply for the selection process. If we identify that your commitment is, if you can commit yourself to the program and you have the skills that we look for on a good candidate, you might be selected, no problem. Age is not a matter. Em geral, qual é a média que o estudante recebe por mês? Não entendi. Well, I guess time's done. I'm so sorry I won't be able to answer the final questions that you just raised. So thank you very much for your time, your interest in our program. What I will do, make it sure we will make the slides available at the internet together with the link to this video, and we might create a Q&A document answering the questions that we didn't have time to answer right now. Okay? Hope to see you in the interviews on June this year. Bye-bye. See you then. Thank you. Oh, I'd like to, do I have time? I'm still alive? So I need to say thank you indeed for all the colleagues from FGV that helped me in offering this webinar. Alessandra, Danusa, Letícia, Cristal, Viviane, Darlene, Daniele, Natasha. Thank you all, ladies, for helping me offering this webinar. And thank you your attendance. Bye-bye.